Hi, I'm J.R. Storment.
I'm Matt Ellis, and we're Cloudability.
And Cloudability gives you all your cloud billing in one place. It's essentially a way for businesses who are using a lot of cloud services, whether it's Amazon or Heroku or Rackspace or billing services on the cloud, to take all the services and get an overview of what they're spending on a day-to-day basis and get alerts, set budget limits, things along that line. A lot of people we've been talking to and working with have been calling us like mint.com for businesses using the cloud.
And it came out of, we were bootstrapping a previous business with some cloud consultancy, and all of our clients had the same problem. They had unexpected overages, they had battles with the VP of Finance, they didn't feel they were in control of the costs. And so we whipped up a little program, we didn't think anything much of it at the time, that just sent a daily email to the management team, how much did you spend yesterday? And this turned into Cloudability.
The idea generally is just to give people some control and insight into what they're spending so they can make better decisions in their startups or in their large companies, and ultimately start to save money on the services that they're using in the cloud by turning off things they're not using and finding cheaper solutions and things like that as well.
And of course the cloud is fundamentally changing how people run their technology infrastructure. In particular, until now, it just hasn't been worth it for a company to do anything to reduce the number of computers they use, because they've already bought it and they're sitting in a building they've got a 2-year contract on. Now for the first time, it's actually very worthwhile for companies to spend a little bit of time every month reducing their spend by 1%. If you did that every month for a few years, you can double the productivity of your technology spend. And we believe it's this kind of thing that's going to really drive a lot of businesses onto the cloud in the next few years. Our product is all about startups. When you start up your business and you're managing every penny, we want you to use our product. And so Startup Weekly have got a link up next to this video. Please click on the link and sign up. Our private beta is starting next month. And if you sign up through that link, you'll be at the top of the list to get early access and help us build Cloudability. We'd love to see you there.
Thanks a lot.
Wow.
So, how much time do we have?
You go
ahead.
first.
Okay. For me, like, I've done a few startups, and I've as I was mentioning earlier, I have a lot of battle scars from those that I've learned a lot of lessons. I haven't had one take off, I guess, yet, like I would like to, but been through the process of learning more and more what to do and what not to do. I come from about 12 years of building websites and web products, and when I got to where I am today with this startup in particular, one of the things that I finally really realized is important is to get past that fear of like putting out a product and to putting out a message, and to really to quote Seth Godin, to always be shipping, like to just not sit there and think, okay, I gotta get this just right, and I gotta nail this email before I get it out, and I gotta get everything on this interface right, and I gotta do everything perfectly. It's like a ready, fire, aim approach, because as much as possible, the more we're able to produce and put out there, the more chance we have for success. And I think that's something that I found a lot of entrepreneurs I talk to really kind of run into a lot with needing to feel like they got to get it right before they put it out there. And for the web world, I think it's so important, particularly in a startup or technology space, to get things out quickly, not only just in time to market to beat other competitors and whatnot, but the needs of the consumer and our clients are changing so quickly. I worked on a startup last year that we ended up delaying our launch by a couple months because everyone is telling us we have to have this feature before it comes out. You can't launch this product without this one feature, and it needs to be complete. So we delayed a few months, and we spent a bunch of money to get this thing out there, and we launched. And 2 months later, with this feature, and none of the people initially using the product ended up using the feature at all. Nobody really wanted it. So we could have launched months before, got a lot more traction, but instead we kind of waited and said the product had to be complete. And so that's one of the big things that I've been working to get through, that I've been working, I think, to apply pretty well in this company.
For me, it was fear too, but in a different kind of way. I've always been an ideas guy. I've got a long list of inventions and sites I've wanted to build, and with Cloudability, the thing that pushed me off that worry is the reaction everyone had to it, which was very positive. People get it, they want it, it's timely, and that was the thing that made me overcome the fear of going all in on one of my many, many ideas. And to actually, I'm excited about all of them, but to really feel that this is something that could change the way that we're using our computers. That in 5 years' time, like Mint has changed the way that people use their personal finances. I don't know what I'd do without those guys. I'd love to be there. And so that reaction and positiveness from people around us was very encouraging and allowed me to say, okay, let's do this.
So what's tripped me up? I think that on one hand, it's been like thinking that I could do everything myself, and on the other hand, it was thinking that I could delegate too many things. So kind of like two opposing forces. But I found in projects that I've done before and smaller pieces of this, like there's times when I think, okay, I'm gonna tackle all these pieces, and I'm gonna think that I can do everything, and I really can't. And there's other times that I found that I really need to, do the opposite, which is I want to put more out to the team, but I need to also, keep my fingers in it. So it sort of opposing forces here, but I found that like I've definitely gone back and forth on that at different times. And what I've learned from that is that, you need to, as a startup, you need to have a startup founder, you need to have your fingers in everything, but you also, on the other hand, need to really have a team that you trust, that you can pass things off to. And so finding that balance has been something that's been challenging in the past.
So for me, it's been focus. I love to do a bit of everything. I love to do a bit of the coding and the business development and the marketing. And it's been great to have some partners around who help to keep me focused on what's important and share the load and let me do what I'm best at rather than what I'm really interested in.
Matt has a lot of ideas all the time. He's the most prolific creator of ideas I've ever met. So that's also been one of our things that we've done so well with is I kind of take him and say, okay, we've got this cool idea. Well, how can we apply this over here? And how do we take this and go here and kind of do a little, professional cat herding?